let me tell you something that happened to me last year. Last year, I wanted to start because I journal a lot, I write a lot, but mostly on my app or on my Google Docs. And I got a physical notebook and a pen, and I realized I could not hold my pen and write for more than 5 minutes without my hands paining me.
Aching.
Like I had, it took me a whole month to be able to write for an extended period of time. And I used to be one of the most prolific note writers in secondary school. Hi, my name is Chika, and this is Synthesis and Script. I've enjoyed working on this and hope that you find these episodes as stimulating as I have, or even more. It is my pleasure to welcome you to Conversations on Tech and AI.
So my name is Promisaka Budu, and I currently live in Poland. I work as a strategy and operations analyst for Akamai Technology. And Akamai Technology is such an interesting place to work because Akamai is one of the reasons why we can have this conversation right now. And then if you have ever live streamed anything, Akamai has a role to play on it on the internet.
I know the whole uproar around data centers, especially the ones that are being built for AI models. It would have definitely impacted the way people do business now. And then the fact that a lot of companies want to infuse AI, and they have need to infuse AI. It's not even just because they want to, they have need. Like I was saying, when I encountered Akamai was from the angle of security. With AI, you have increased capabilities and then need for increased cloud infrastructure. How has that kind of impacted kind of services your company provides? I know you're not in the customer facing side, you're more of the operations part of the business, and how you've had to increase your budget. Like, is there any, I'm sure there's a correlation, just maybe throw a little bit more light.
My personal opinion about AI is that I feel like we are still in the baby stage and there is a lot to be done with it. And like as of today, I think a lot of people, a lot of companies are beginning to rethink their AI adoption strategy. Because they were like, okay, they didn't want to miss out on the FOMO, fear of missing out. And then they rushed in, and without proper planning, without proper use case, without proper implementation, and now they are running into millions of dollars in credit fees and token fees and all of that. Expensive.
Yeah, it's so expensive now. Everybody's rethinking what they are doing, their strategy, especially when they went all the Tokenmaxxing thing, where if you're not using enough token, that means you're not doing it right. They were increasing their spending and all of that. Now they're dialing back. I saw one article, sorry, I'm butting in. Now I'm so excited about this part because I've been following AI news, trying to find out how people are just doing this thing. Like, if you're not doing, some people were even saying that if your CV does not show you as an AI first, that was even when I got to know that there's something called AI first. You're not an AI first employee. That's like the first thing you do is you're using AI tools. You're not even trying to diagnose a problem from your own human angle. You're just rushing in with AI. If you're not presenting as that, they're not even going to be looking at your CV. So I was so concerned. So I started following this. At this point, I do this thing where I compile all the happenings, especially in AI and tech, and post it on my pages every Monday. So it's more like last week in tech clips. And as of last week or 2 weeks ago, I saw that Uber's a company was saying that they had spent all their yearly budget for AI in just 4 months, and they are regretting it now that if the gains are not even worth the whole expenses. So
well, I agree. A lot of people are dialing back because I mean it's common sense.
And not just dialing back to the people that rush to sack people because of AI productivity gains, that they're now rehiring too, because the AI is now turning out to be causing more problem. More problem for them.
You know, when you see, I mean, I don't want to talk about individual use cases now because those ones, I mean, you know, there's a lot of brain rot, so I don't even want to talk about
Mm-hmm.
it. I want to talk about it from the industry perspective, where people actually get to use this stuff in their company, in their businesses. See, humans would continue to work for you. They use their intuition. They would, even if you owe them in quotes, they will still work. They will still try to, you know, get things, use their intuition to try to figure things out. AI, once their token exhausts, they just shut down, and that's it. There is
Yes.
no mercy. There is no grace period. There is nothing. So it's not. That's why I said it is still at the baby stage. It is not reliable. Yeah. Secondly, there is already artificial intelligence even before this current AI craze,
Yes.
because there has been serial. It is you know Siri for um
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Apple.
TV. Even IBM's what's the name? The one from the movie. IBM had their own AI too. Their own
Yeah,
AI
even
too. Yes.
Alexa, all those things, they've
Mm-hmm.
been there. There is Internet of Things. These are all AI applications. So it's not until you do image generation and all of that. Even chatbots, they are all AI. You get what I'm saying? So companies should look into how to use it to really, really solve problems, not just adopting for adoption's sake. Are you getting
Yes,
what
which
I'm
is
saying?
what they were doing
Yeah,
essentially.
a lot of people were just adopting. I feel companies should sit down and do a lot of what we call use case analysis. You do
Yes.
um, a cross margin analysis and try to find out advantage, the disadvantages, the pros and the cons, and then against the cost, and see if it is worth it. I'm all for AI adoption, but let it be that you are actually using it to solve problems, real problems, real problems. For instance, you said something about AI first. It's stupid, I'm sorry to say. Now, we should be all human reasoning first. You should be
Mm-hmm.
able to use AI as an assistant, not to replace your brain. So if you have, so what I do personally is I write sometimes on social media. When I want to write something, I put the sketch together. Put like actually because I'm very big on writing things physically. If you see here, I have my notepad, and whenever I'm doing anything, you see behind there, I have some books and all of that. I'm very big on you know, physical pen and paper writing, and also the same. I'm sorry, but I'm digressing. Even in church, you know, people go to church.
It's all part of it because now they're even talking about writing physically. Let me tell you something that happened to me last year. Last year,
Okay.
I wanted to start because I journal a lot, I write a lot, but mostly on my app or on my Google Docs. And I got a physical notebook and a pen, and I realized I could not hold my pen and write for more than 5 minutes without my hands paining me.
Aching.
Like I had to, yeah, it took me a whole month to be able to write for an extended period of time. And I used to be one of the most prolific note writers in secondary school. I was just wondering, so this is how, if you don't use a skill, it atrophies. And it goes
Yeah.
to with writing too. I used to write so much better before I started. I'll just say, this is what I want to write. I'll start prompting ChatGPT. That's literally the first thing I do. I prompt it, it gives me something, and then I start using what it gave me to kind of like structure what I want to write, which is that AI first thing we're talking about. So it made me start rethinking how technology is literally making us lose skills that we already had. I'm
Ah,
going to still give another example, like
okay.
Google Maps now. When I
Mm,
was researching about the effect of this AI tools, what we're gaining is what we're risking because we don't even know what we're risking most of the times.
mm,
There was this research that said that there's something called the Google effect, how Google
mm,
Maps made us lose our navigational skills. Some people, yeah, they're not able to find places again without using Google Maps now, because you're not even asking questions. You're just depending on this thing. So without Google Maps now, can you locate a place? If somebody gives you a description, can you literally find? So a lot of things we are losing and we don't really know it.
Yeah, I mean, see, technology is to make our life easy, and I'm always for it. I'm very big on tech because I mean that's the point of this whole thing, right? That we are doing. So I'm very
Yes.
big on tech, but I just feel like you said something about atrophy. That's actually
Yes.
I think it's in genetics, law of use and disuse in evolution. So
Mm-hmm.
when you don't use something, it dies. And
Yes.
the thing here is this. Someone said somewhere, I can't remember where I read it, but it said something along the lines that intelligence will be sold to humans in the days to come.
Yes.
When I saw that quote, and it's probably one of the top AI guys that said made this statement. But when I heard that statement and I said, these people have shown insight into what will happen in the future. Because when you become so dependent on these things that you can't even think anymore, then if you don't have it, you can't survive. Then you have to pay for it. You pay for AI, and without it, you practically can't exist, can't survive. So I know what I'm saying might not happen in our lifetime, but it will surely happen. So
Yeah,
because
it's already
as more and
happening.
more people will become so dependent on this stuff that they can't think for themselves. So that is on an individual basis, but on the enterprise level or the company-wide level, I just feel like companies should look more into use cases that are really, really valuable. Use cases that are valuable. And that's why I'm really, really glad with Apple, the direction that they took.
Yeah, how
While
they were
others were
sluggish about
running,
adopting this whole thing. Are you
people
sure it
were
wasn't a
building.
matter of they weren't able to figure it out instead of just being more prudent?
Well, honestly, however it is, I think it's worked out fine for them. Tim Cook just
Yes,
resigned.
yes,
He just resigned a few days
yeah,
ago, and it was one of his parting gifts for the company. And I feel like if that is how every company should move with AI. When people were rushing to build data centers to adopt, they were slow. Why? Because they already have AI. Siri is AI. You get what I'm
I
saying?
don't I beg to differ on this Apple approach, because it feels, because now Apple is planning on releasing pendants, releasing wearables. Like their angle is more of like we're trying to see how we implement this in a product we can sell, because hardware, yes, hardware has really
Which
been their
is
thing instead of
yeah,
software, right?
which is
Yes.
exactly
But at the same time, I doubt that they were slow because they were trying to think through how all of this is going to impact us, or they were planning on making sure that it actually benefits their business. Maybe it was more of an angle of how do we really package this and sell it and make money from it straight up, instead of just jumping in on the bandwagon. I know it's all the same, but at the
it's
same
all the
time,
same
let us not
anyways.
be thinking it was ingenious.
Oh well,
It
however
might
it
not
is.
really be. It might be they didn't figure it out on time.
Wait, have you seen the stock market recently?
I buy stuff. So I
So
know the red sea that we have been swimming in lately. Yes,
you
I
see,
know,
and
and I
all
know
of
what
that
caused
is
it.
is thanks to AI, and people are waking up and seeing all of these things. So I feel like whatever they did, whatever from whichever dichotomy the decision comes from, it is fine. But just that soft pedaling alone is enough for whatever reason. And I feel like that's what everybody
Yeah.
should do. Don't be in a hurry to just
Mm-hmm.
um, adopt, find use cases, reasonable use cases. Sometimes on Twitter a few months ago, somebody in Nigeria, they produced one app and they now said AI powered something something. And somebody told them like, dude, this is just yellow page. You know what's yellow page like that?
Yes,
Something
yes.
that
I
has
used to
directory.
find people and direct you basically.
So this is just yellow page on phone, as in an app format. So which one is the
Mm.
AI powered inside? If you people don't throw in that word, you will not rest. So the point I'm
Yeah,
just so the point I'm
that's
trying
the
to make
Maggie
is
of all apps now. If you don't add it, it's not go sweet.
that exactly. So idea a long and short of this is that we should just be slow and then let it not replace critical thinking. Write
Yeah.
first, scribble your thoughts, think through
Mm-hmm.
things. It is called an assistant for a reason. Let it be an assistant, not a director.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what I would say. Let it be an assistant, not a director. Let it be in the passenger wheel and not your driver. You'll be the one in
Okay.
charge of your life. And the same applies to every piece of technology. If you were stranded in an island, would you survive?
Mm. Mm.
If you don't have Google Maps, just like you said, do you have
Yeah.
basic survival skills? If there is no internet, would you be fine? If there is no water running, um, I'm sorry, but I know some of these things I'm saying. I'm sorry, but I'm going to. It's my
But
sign.
that's the truth.
Yeah.
That's the reality. The way AI is packaged for us on the internet, they just assume that everybody's on the internet. Everybody has
Mm,
stable internet connection. Everybody can afford internet, basically. There are people that they have never even had need for internet to begin with. So what are we
true.
really,
So that's the thing. As I was saying the things I was saying, I just realized that you are in Nigeria. Although I know you have a lot of exposure and you've traveled around, but it is I'm saying that if you don't have light, if there's no electricity, if there's no, I just forgot that that's actually some people's everyday reality that they
reality
actually do.
now? Our reality. Well, let people bust your brain. The way the way companies were going about this whole if you're a software developer and you're not using cloud code, you're not using a coding assistant. Some Nigerian developers that I was able to interact with during that period, like when it was peak, it's still peak now, but when it was still picking up, and if you're not talking about what you're using Microsoft Copilot to do and all of that, you're
Mm,
behind, you're wasting time
mm,
trying to plan your code or what you want to write, how
mm-hmm,
you're going to do all of these things. And somebody told me that the way people in the US, in fact, people abroad are packaging this thing, they have forgotten that we have internet issues, we have light issues. If you are on GitHub, if you're on your IDE, that's your development environment, typing, and the internet disconnects, you have to wait for it to connect back before you can access your your coding assistant. So, like, how does that? Am I going to be part of the people that are saying I have productivity gains? If basic things like light going off or my internet disconnecting means that I've lost 1 hour or 2 hours of not being able to work on my system because my coding assistant is basically not accessible without internet.
mm,
So this
mm.
is not everybody's reality. We have to be realistic.
True, true, true. So that's my position about AI adoption. Make sure you remain
Mhm.
in the driver's seat and use it to produce real valuable use cases and not because you just want to join the bandwagon. And
Mhm.
yeah, the same thing applies, of course. Stay abreast of trends and what is happening in the industry. If
Yeah.
you want to know about AI, I think I wrote a course. I wrote a post sometimes um, earlier in the year about AI adoption and how to get started from my LinkedIn.
Mhm.
So there
Mhm.
are guides on for a beginner to get into the program and learn a few things about it.
I'll link it in the description for this video so that anybody that wants to read it.
Okay, so stuff like that. So yeah, get abreast with all the things that is happening, but also primarily use your brain. Make your brain work
Yes,
for you. So that's
that's great.
it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I really, really appreciate because this conversation even expanded beyond what I had envisioned.